But Ron, thank you very much for taking time to be
You're
with
welcome.
us so much. And I don't even know quite how to start the interview because it's kind of like,
At the beginning.
well, you know, the
Remember.
first thing is, I think you probably know how adored you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty adored.
I mean, yeah, but yeah.
No,
yeah,
but you-
I'm gonna leave. Yeah, I do.
But your voice was something that's really powerful and palpable, and you know, it's like sometimes the expression comes through you, and you listen, and someone has to talk,
Right, yeah.
and you chose to talk,
Yeah.
and that's a remarkable human being.
I don't know if I should. I wouldn't wish this on nobody. I don't know. I think, how the hell did I get here? I mean, the first time last week in my life, you know, and I have a lot of guys that play ball and stuff, and they go from town to town. It's like don't know where they are. So I had flown from Kentucky, and I was somewhere, and then I literally was on a plane and got off the walk. You know, as soon as you get off the plane and you walk through that tunnel, I'm like, dude, what city you in? I mean, I didn't I'm like, whoa. You know, I was in San Francisco, but it was like that. I didn't even realize that you know, that would ever happen to me. What city am I in?
It's moving that fast.
Yeah.
Well, I have a couple questions for you. So, and this, I don't know, one thing I loved about your talk downstairs is you're a straight talker, you don't BS, you call things out in a really remarkable way, and I think you're really responsible for how you talk. Like, I think you're completely tuned into the reality of the picture. And one thing we've been challenged with at evōx television right now is we're really white. You know, you have this
Right.
white CEO,
Yeah.
we have a lot of white people in the company, and we also have a lot more diversity happening right now too.
And you guys are moving into my neighborhood.
And we're moving into your neighborhood, exactly. But it has been, you know, to be responsible for as white as I am too. There's certain privileges that just come because of the skin sack I was born into, and I think that, you know, when I look out at South by Southwest ECO and I look at the lack of color in the audience and all the events I've been going to for the last couple years,
Sad.
I'm just, well, it's sad. And what do you think about that? I mean, how do you relate to an audience that, you know, primarily, probably 95% of them, if not higher, can't relate to the stories you tell, but can only be inspired by your story? How is that?
I mean, it's bothersome. It bothers me, but I figure, you know, I'm a voice, and I'm trying to put that to work. It's funny that you should say that though, because a lot of the things that I do still to this point, and a lot of the things that I go to, who's the black guy? You know, that's who I was. It's like, well, who's the black guy? You know, but now
Sorry for laughing. But
no, it's meant to be. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I was up at Occidental Arts and Ecology. It's a permaculture community where they teach permaculture, the whole nine, 80 acres, food, forest, I mean, food everywhere, you know, off the tree, off the ground, off the bush, just everywhere, there's food. And, you know, I was there for 2 weeks, and I wanted to go there and just be the black guy. I didn't want to be Ron Finley, you know, and so I was for like a day. I was just, why's the black guy here, you know, because, you know, we usually don't do that. It's culturally, we have to, it's an uphill battle with what I do. And that's part of it, and I tell people, because we have that legacy of slavery, so soil to us, so we don't want to touch that stuff. We don't want to touch it.
Do you think it's in the DNA? Do you think it's just kind of in the DNA? Like,
well, that it looks at as lowly. It's looked at as dirt. We don't do that. We don't do dirt. But what we need to get back to is realizing, yes, we do need to do dirt. They had people working in the dirt because that's where the power was. That's where the money was. You know, that's how they got what they had, is because they had people working in the soil. Imagine if we worked the soil ourselves. We have to change that. We have to change that from being exposed to the only thing we have is convenient food that is conveniently killing us.
Yeah.
You know, and it's slow. It's killing you real slow. But that's an issue, and then believe me, it's you know, even some Latins, even, you know, with the whole migrant farm worker thing, they don't want to be attached to it, but they're closer to it, so they see, like, I can feed myself. You know, a lot of African Americans there's a bunch of us that's fighting and countering that. But there's a lot of them, they don't see it. They don't want it. They don't want to do. Why would I do that?
So let me ask you a question. So sometimes, just a little bit of my background, I used to be an activist for Amnesty International and Greenpeace for a long time, and then I worked in television for a long time, and now we've created this network. And we want to get to the real stories behind the stories, and I think part of what you did this morning in your presentation is you just started talking things that were just so, for me, when you said, you can take all your technology that you try to put inside of inner city schools and you can just bury it and just say, it doesn't make a bit of difference if you're not feeding the young minds with good food. I mean, that is, for a lot of people, a lot of our audience is in Silicon Valley, right? Probably. We have a lot of people like that, right? And they think that the way to make a difference is to add all these different tools and technology, right? And then you're just really getting down to the work. Like, listen, if you don't have a mind that has proper nourishment, what are you building a foundation for? So sometimes I feel like how do look at our skin, right? How do we work?
Mine is softer than yours, though.
Yours is softer, and you're going to look better as you get old. I know. I'm going to be a wrinkly old white prune and all that. But I just kind of wonder if sometimes how do as a white guy to support, and what support I can offer, because there's a sense that I have to be a little bit hands off and back away. And yet I still look at the face of everyone who's here, and there's so much money in this room and support. And so I think that there's this conflict sometimes with a lot of people who want to make a difference, and a lot of people in the other communities, since the black community, who are out to being activists, kind of going, want a little bit of your help, but not too much. We got to do this ourselves. And how do you find?
Because there's a legacy of white folks coming in with this colonial bullshit. This is what you need. This is what you uncivilized people need. Is kind of what we're reading. A lot of black folks are reading into that. So they come and make, like Beth Miller, she experienced it. She was telling me that she built this beautiful garden, and with the gates and the whole nine. Nobody used it. They had the little crappy garden down the street that the little old Latin ladies in New York that were working in, and she couldn't figure it out. Why? We don't need all that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't use this thing because we can work with this. So you have to go into a area and what would you like? What could help you? Instead of
that should be the questions we're asking.
Instead of what do you
instead
need?
of assumption.
Instead of assumption, this is what you need, and we're going to build. But it's like the computer shit. It's like the technology. I know what you need. Computers, dude. I need an organic apple, dude. They forget that minds, the brains, they grow and they develop. If you stun the growth by the soil that you put for this brain, what's going to happen to it? It's like sunlight to vegetables. It's like healthy soil. That's our soil. And it's amazing that you have these brilliant minds and all these. Sometimes I'm so happy that I didn't go to school. Because a lot of people can't think. Because they went to school. It's like when I show people how to garden, they're like, well, Ron, where do I put this? Where do I put it? I'm like, I don't know. Where you want to put it? Well, okay. Well, the book said there's no book. You're the book. Where do you want, when you walk outside your house, where do you want to see this? When you wake up in the morning, what do you want to look at? Do you want a path that goes like this, or do you want a path that goes like this? And we've lost that because it's not in the book, and we can't feel stuff no more. Everybody's so moving in technology and everything, and fast food, and we can't sit around and feel. We can't feel what happens. We can't feel the chi. We can't feel the energy. And that's why. Technology is a beautiful thing, trust me. But before you put technology in, it has to be in the right hands. First of all, you have to build these proper hands for it to be in. Or it does nothing. It means absolutely nothing. It's going to be sold on the corner somewhere, for cents on the dollar. That's and with a lot of other people coming into other neighborhoods. You just can't assume what somebody needs. You need to go in there and work with them and ask. And
So
and I have people doing
that. So you look at the evox audience, will be 33 million screens this year, right? By the end of next year, we're at 100 million screens.
Congratulations.
And well, thank you very much. I mean, it's a congratulations to the community, because we're just here. I think of evox, we're just the middleman, and we just want to elevate people like you, elevate that vision that you have in the world. And so we just want to be there and go, okay, check this out, world. Look what's available. And I think our challenge is going to be being an action network. It's like, we don't want people, we have some fun programming, but it's like, if people aren't taking an action in life, and somehow it's more of the same stories. And inspiration goes so far, and you want people to be inspired, but then what's the right actions after they're inspired? And when I look at the original, what I was asking you about is like, if I have, right now my demographics are women, white, and then there's a whole guy section, right? So what are we going to do? How can we support you? What question would I ask of you? Or, I think this is what people are going to want to know when they watch this. It's going to be like, how can we get underneath this, not be arrogant, not make assumptions, be involved, be supportive, and, and how do you do that? What would be the equation?
The equation is, a lot of it is funding, but a lot of it is also, I have guys like Ron, I got tractors. I'll bring my tractors down, just tell me where you need to be. We have that kind of stuff. A lot of people know what the infrastructure needs to be made of, to make this happen. A lot of times people need, it's like I have after my TED, my plane, not me, my plane, it was at 35,000, going at probably 1,000 miles an hour. I was still on the ground. I need to catch up to the plane. So people expect you to have a COO, a COO, a FBI, a QDC, a ABC, a HDC, a MQMI out of the gate before they give you funding. How the hell am I supposed to pay these people? How am I supposed to get these people if I'm just starting like this? So it's like almost like a catch-22 with some funders. They want you to have this, and they want you to have this track, and it's like, how can I this is new. I just started this. I don't have any money. Do you
have a team right now you're working with?
Yeah, I got a team. I got I got Jesse Dillon and his company Wondros on my team. I got Ben Goldhirsch, good magazine. Yeah. Goldhirsch Foundation on my team.
So you have some players.
I got some players with me. We're making it happen. Lauren Bond, Anna Berg, Foundation. So I got some good players on my team.
And what do you need? What could evōx provide for you? How could we support you personally?
A big ass check, just a big ass check.
How much money do you need?
How much money do I need? $5 million. You can just write me evōx and
just keep going.
If they just write me a $5 million check for the first month.
For the first month.
Yeah,
and then what would you do with it out the gate? What would you do with the first $5 million?
Secure property.
Because you have better clothes than me already, so
I make them. I make them. I make my clothes. I did. I don't get an opportunity to do it anymore. I want to get back to it, but that's part of it. That's part of what I'm gonna do to the money. I want to build like a leadership academy, whereas our kids play with sharp instruments because they know how to. What are we doing today? We're welding today. What are we doing? We're doing glass blowing. We're making clothes. What are we doing? We're recycling something into something. We're upscaling. We're upscaling items. We're upscaling our lives. We're not necessarily recycling. We're upscaling, uplifting, uprising.
And what's something you wanted to say today that you didn't get to say on the platform downstairs?
It's sometimes, a lot of that was off the top of my dome. I try not to. One day I want to be prepared, just have it all in there, but somebody said no. And I don't want to go somewhere and do the same. People are like, we want to hear the TED. I'm like, I don't even know what I
prepare
said.
all the time, and then I throw it out because it doesn't.
So why do we frustrate and antagonize and don't get any sleep? I had 2 hours of sleep, dude, today.
Well, I think it helps you kind of map out what you want to say, and then you
I'm
away.
dyslexic. I'm not gonna say half the stuff that I was supposed to say, But I know. I just want to inform people that your health is your responsibility. It's not your baby mama, it's not your dog, it's not your grandmother, it's not the lady next door, it's not your mistress. It's your responsibility. Take your own health into your own hand. And where does that start? That starts with food. We need to overthrow this system in these school systems. Like, no, this is what we need. You know, and stop making these kids cattle. And that's basically what they are. You know, I think they're cattle. But they're just farming kids. You know, and we're breaking them because you sit them there in front of this billboard. Kids want to tear up shit, and they want to write on stuff, and they want to roll over, and they want to create and jump and do art. Do art. It's all, life is art. You know, and we need to let them do that. We don't need to sit them in classes and break them. You know, and I think that's what's happening. And you're I can't say no. I especially growing up like I was, you know, dyslexic, so I couldn't read the way everybody else was reading, and they would just still put me in class. And you know, one of the most embarrassing things was for me to get up and they want me to read a book. And, you know, and still to this, I mean, I would read, and my comprehension was off the chain because I would reread this. Is that really what that line said? And I would have to check everything because I know my thinking.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing wrong with me. I was brilliant. It was the way they was teaching me or not teaching me. You have this one-size-fit-all spandex pants education system that we need to just blow up, you know, demolish. It needs to be revamped. You know, if we're going to be the biggest, the strongest, the most powerful country in the world, you know, shouldn't the citizens in the country reflect that? Why do we really need people that are hungry, babies in the street? We throw away 40% of the food, but they're telling us we can't feed. We can't feed ourselves, but you're throwing away 40-some% of the food. What that tells me is you need another kind of distribution system, dude. If you're throwing away that much food and we got people hungry, you need to change. You need to upgrade your distribution system to the people that need this food. You know, we don't need more food. We're depleting our topsoil. We're gonna have the Dust Bowl situation in a minute. You know, and we're working against Mother Earth. You know.
What most inspires you right now?
Air.
Air?
Air is the most inspiring thing to my life. I love air. I mean, when I wake up in the morning and I say thank you. I mean, air. I mean, is there anything more inspiring than air? Think about it.
No, it's what you take for granted, right?
That's why. Because you can't see it. You can't see it. But go without it. You want?
No, we don't have to do the experiment.
No, come on, I'll do it. No, I'll do it. I'll tell.
Oh, okay, because I'll do it, and you know, I'll get more pink than I already am.
I'll put you in the chokehold.
That's interesting.
That's the most inspiring thing to me. Is air.
Well, I thank you.
I thank you and I honor you, and thank you for having me.
We appreciate you more than you know, and I mean, if there's anything that evōx Television can do to support you, your mission, your vision, I know money goes a long way, and you know, we'll definitely ask our viewers, you know, I mean, should they send checks to evōx to you?
Yeah,
do you have a foundation?
I do have a foundation.
What's a foundation?
A foundation. My fiscal, it's the Ron Finley Project, and my fiscal sponsor is the LA Community Garden Council.
LA Community Garden.
We're in the process of getting my own foundation, but they are my fiscal sponsor right now.
For right now. Okay, so you can reach Ron through evōx. You can reach Ron directly on your website.
Yeah, it's ronfinley.com. Yeah.
And then, you know, when you look at, I think it's a great conversation for the evōx viewers to be involved in. Look at how you can support, but do it from a way of listening how you can be supportive instead of making assumptions on the way you can support, you know, projects like Ron in the world, because it requires more listening and less talking right now. You can just get a sense a lot of people they react. They just react instead of going, what's needed and wanted here?
Well, a lot of it is more doing, I think, because and you can help me, I mean, in Switzerland. You can help me in Cambodia. You can help me in deepest, darkest Africa. Just plant a garden. You know what I'm saying? And if all of us did this, if all of us planted these seeds, I mean, like you said earlier, it's not just planting. Everything is a seed. Humans, we start from a seed, you know? So that's how you can help me. Let's green this whole damn planet. Let's cure this place. You know, so that's how you can help. I mean, I got a guy in India where his kids are calling themselves gangster gardeners now. once they saw him. He sent me pictures, you know, and they're trying to recruit other gangsters in India, in their community, to put in gangsters. These are kids, dude, and I'm like, damn, and I mean, that's my inspiration right there when I see something like that. So, you know, I thank you.
Thank you. Ron Finley, everyone.